Hey, family. Welcome. All right, so I want to make this really quick video today just about transcendental vibration, and then we'll get back on track with what we were reading before, if Jaja say so. But I wanted to share this today because today is a very special day for me, September the 18th, when I'm making the video. Today is the day that my mother, 7 years ago, transitioned to the spirit world. And oh, she's been a powerhouse since she's been there. And I'm just celebrating her today and her we call it happy heavenly birthday. Um, she was born of the spirit again. And so also it's been 7 years since I started my growing my dreadlocks, and I'm going to cut them. I already cut one off, and then I have gotten so many signs and confirmations already that I was supposed to be doing this today. I had decided this maybe like about 6 months ago, when I realized that it was the 7 year completion cycle anniversary of my mother's transition, and that I had said the day she transitioned that I wouldn't cut my hair ever again. Just didn't think about it then, and how long it would get, and all the different things that are accompanying it. Um, but I also didn't know about the Holy Megillah back then either. And so it's been 7 years that I've had my hair and I haven't cut it. And I started cutting it today. And then I wanted one more confirmation. So I said, oh, let me open up the Stellarium program and see where the luminaries are and just see what it's saying in the sky. And do you guys see this? This is how it happens for me. Look what we got going on right now today as I cut my first lock. Look at the sun, where the sun is. It's all by Virgo's hair. And Mercury is here. So this is very powerful conjunction here. And look at this. We got Venus and Regulus, the heart of Leo. And we even have the moon here. And there's going to be a new moon soon. So right now, today, the moon is 26.5 days old. It's a waning crescent. And in like 3 days, it's going to be a new moon. And look where they're going to be at. You know they're always in alignment. About 3 o'clock in the afternoon, September 21st, we have the new moon, and she's lined up with the sun. And they're still by this woman's hair in the sky. So awesome to tell me that I'm I'm in I'm in sync with a lot of things in my life, and I want to cry right now. So it's not just because today was the day that I lost my mother in the physical, because I gained so much when she transitioned into the spiritual realm. So I'm not crying because of that, but I'm just crying because of the gratitude to the creators, to everything that I have experienced in this life, bringing me to this point and this new beginning. And I tell y'all, I'm all into numbers. You guys know that. We'll put the time back to where we are at today when I'm making the video. And I noticed that the moon is 26.5. I added that all up. That is a 13. You know, 3 plus 1 is 4. That's the number for foundation. So this is a new foundation for me that I'm building right now. Even some crap happened in my house 2 days ago. We got almost poisoned to death with some fumes. And so I'm being told it's time to move, and oh, it's such a big transition all happening at once. Pray for me, guys. All right, we're going to get to reading this from the Holy Megillah now, and it's about transcendental vibration. All right, now, so We're going to start this off in chapter 16. Look at that 7, right? 6 plus 1 is 7, and it is about the 7th candle of the bar here, Shivathayam. And also, it is on page, you're not going to believe it, 124. What is that? 4, 5, 6, 7. We're just going to read this small part because it does talk about the fire letters. And this all stemmed from the Lady Christ holding her hands up in the two shins. And so it still is connected to the last few videos, but it's going to shed light on how come we have so many similar stories and what is going on here. Okay, so let's get going. He said, receive now the 7th candle of the bar here, Shivathayam. The 7th candle illuminates the Ophan, Ha Yamin, the Nasarean wheel of days. Yea, the wheel of days reveals the Nasarean Shana, the Nasarean year. For each turn around the wheel is 1 year, and 1 year is from winter solstice to winter solstice. For winter solstice is the first day of the new year. Behold, each year is divided into 13 chodashim, which are months of 28 days each, and each month is divided into 4 shivot, which are weeks of 7 days each. O Abdiel, as you climb the tree of life, you learned many tongues, even the language of the cherubim. Yea, and you learned the Nasarean fire letters. Behold, the fire letters are now given to the Nasareans and will later be taken by the children of Cain. But only those given the fire letters will receive also the comprehension of their mysteries and the fruit of their use in meditation. And because you know the fire letters of the wheel of days, you may receive the wheel, and with this wheel you may keep the rhythm. Praise Yah. And it's all about the zodiac too, guys. He drew a circle and he explained to Abdiel the meaning and the use of the wheel of days. So here is very first page of the Holy Megillah that we're reading from. And it's talking about the name of Yah, and then it breaks down here. Nasarean Hebrew is similar, but not exactly the same as Biblical Hebrew. One difference is that the Nasareans believed that they had preserved certain significant pronunciations of key mystical words and sounds, including Yahweh. Indeed, they believed that the origin of some of their key words and sounds was angelic, coming from the cherubim of heavenly realms. The Nasareans referred to those key pronunciations of various words and sounds as ancient vibration or transcendental vibration, believing them to have transcendental power. These words are considered ancient in that they predate current usage and pronunciation of those same or similar words, stemming from ancient times, predating our recorded history, and often predating the creation of our planet. But the practice of transcendental vibration does not limit itself to attempt to preserve ancient pronunciations. Rather, it is a general practice of upgrading our language to a higher mystical vibration. So then it says, for more information, we're going to see expanded footnote 2 on Nasarean Hebrew and Transcendental vibration. So let's go there now. Okay, here we are. And I think it says basically the same thing we just read. So we're just going to go down a little more, and it says, in regards to the first sentence of the above paragraph, there are several reasons that Nasarean Hebrew is similar but not exactly the same as Biblical Hebrew. First, let us consider why Nasarean Hebrew and Biblical Hebrew are similar. The similarity is due to the fact that A, the ancient Nasareans lived among the Aaronite Jews. That's mainstream Judaism. They were called Aaronite Jews back then. And B, the Aaronite Jews often persecuted the far less numerous Nasareans, and in the process stole or borrowed much from them, not only material possessions and land, but also intellectual wealth, such as Nasarean language arts. So it goes on to say that the borrowing of Nasarean language arts by mainstream Judaism was predicted in the following prophecy from the Bar here Shabbatim. And that's a section of Mattanah. That was what we first started reading from. And it was when he told them, O Abidel, as you climb the tree of life, you learned many tongues, even of the cherubim. Yea, you learned the Nasarean fire letters. Behold, the fire letters are now given to the Nasareans and will be later taken by the children of Cain. So that was a prophecy we read. And it says here, the above words are from the lips of the Lord Christ. He spoke these words when he gave the Nasarean calendar mysteries to the first Nasarean priest of this world, Abidel, the first child of Adam and Eve. In that account, which is found in the seventh candle of the Bar here Shabbatim, the reference to the Nasarean fire letters is a reference to a stylized form of what has come to be called biblical Hebrew letters. By stylized, I mean the style often employed by practitioners of Kabbalah, in which each Hebrew letter incorporates one or more sparks into its shape, giving the impression of fire. Thus, the term fire letters, the sparks, are based on the Hebrew letter Yod, which you can see resembles a tiny spark. The Lord told Abdiel that the Nazareans would be given the fire letters, but that the children of Cain would later take, steal, / borrow them. The reference to the children of Cain is a reference to the religion that came to be known as Canaanite. These Canaanites are not the Canaanites of the mainstream Bible. The word just sounds similar in English, and later split into the Jacobites. And that's Canaanites who were a bit influenced by the Nazareans, later becoming known as Aaronites, or what we know as mainstream Judaism. And Amalekites, or those Canaanites who did not become Jacobites, but became Amalekites. So, the primary reason for the great similarity in Nasarean Hebrew and Biblical Hebrew is that the Aaronite mainstream Judaism religion adopted the Nasarean form of Hebrew. He goes on to say, having considered the similarity of the Nasarean Hebrew and Biblical Hebrew, let us consider some key differences. Immediately after he prophesied that the fire letters would be given to the Nazareans and later taken by the children of Cain, the Lord declared, but only those given the fire letters will receive also the comprehension of their mysteries and the fruit of their use in meditation. Thus, even though mainstream Judaism adopted the basic form of the ancient Nasarean Hebrew, they did not receive the keys to the mysteries of the ancient fire letters. In other words, there are mysteries related to the sacred fire letters that are transcendental to the mere form. You cannot forcibly take the mysteries. They are received by initiates who progressively comprehend the mysteries by practicing the Nasarean teachings. By extension, the exact principle given by the Lord in regards to the Nasarean fire letters holds true not only in regards to those letters, but also to all of what we call Nasarean Hebrew and Biblical Hebrew, including grammatical syntax. In other words, Nasarean language arts, the best term for what is generally referred to as Nasarean Hebrew, both written and spoken, are a part of the Nasarean religious mysteries and related spiritual practices, and as such are under the auspices of the Nasarean mystery school. It says the very nature of spiritual mystery schools is that the teachings and practices are dispensed in a gradient fashion to initiates who have advanced from one level to the next in ladder-like ascension as they gain and demonstrate proficiency, adeptship, and prove loyal and trustworthy. This being the case, very little of Nasarean Hebrew is revealed by Nasareans, ancient or modern, outside the context of our mystery school lessons. Nevertheless, we can and now will briefly comment on those mysteries touched upon in the verses quoted above and those alluded to in Footnote 4 on the first page of Mattanah, the Nasarean Book of Genesis. Herein we will briefly address the following. Number 1, that the origin of many Nasarean key words, especially religious nomenclature and mantras, is angelic and from the heavens. Number 2, that the Nasareans preserved the original pronunciations and meanings of those words and non-word sounds, even when the general culture, including but not limited to the above described mainstream Judaism, adopts and changes the pronunciation or the meanings. Number 3, that these words and sounds of heavenly origin are words of power that have transcendental significance and impart to those empowered to use them a great variety of spiritual blessings, including revelatory illuminations, profound communion with Yahweh, access to higher energies and ethereal realities, fellowship with heavenly beings, increased capability in things of true import, and the ecstasy of bliss consciousness. Number 4, that those not authorized to use Nasarean words of power within the context of the terms set forth in the Holy Megillah will not be harmed by their use, but will not receive the transcendental empowerments that those authorized to use the words of power will receive. Number 5, that all the above portion of this expanded footnote 2 relates to transcendental vibration, which is also called ancient vibration. Number 6, that transcendental vibration is a playful, happy language and sound art itself, a part of the overall Nasarean science of harmonious vibration. Number 7, that the only way you can know more about the matters discussed in this expanded footnote 2 is to become an initiate of the authentic and authorized Nasarean Mystery School that is the agency responsible for the publication of this first edition of the Holy Megillah, the Nasarean Bible of the Essene way. All right, so it still keeps going. We got like one more page. Sorry it's long, but it's important. He says, in regards to number 1 above, know this: the authentic and authorized Nasarean Mystery School on this planet is an outlet for the teachings of the Universal Nasarean Mystery School that spans the heavens and was founded by the Lord Christ and Lady Christ. Thus, since the origins of the Nasarean Mystery School on this planet, certain otherworldly heavenly words and sounds have been imparted to us by the Lord and Lady and their heavenly cherubim. In regards to number 2 above, let it be known that our Nasarean Mystery School, the authentic and authorized one, has existed without interruption since its inception in the Garden of Eden. Though the above ground or revealed arm of our church is often persecuted to the point of near extinction, or is in a prolonged period of hiding to prevent that extinction, the underground or hidden arm of our church, which is the esoteric core of our mystery school, has always continued to exist and managed to preserve our ancient scrolls and words of power. Some of those words made their way into mainstream Hebrew and then had their meanings and or pronunciations altered to various degrees. But the original versions have been preserved within our mystery schools. The various spiritual blessings described in number 3 above typically stem from the heavenly vibrations included by the proper use of the words and sounds of power. Listen what it says. The various spiritual blessings described in number 3 above typically stem from the heavenly vibrations induced by the proper use of the words and sounds of power, like Mecca Isa. I got the download and the connection to Islam, but that's another video, so we'll keep going. Well, number 4 above makes clear that, as stated in the Holy Megillah, the efficacy of the words and sounds of power is linked to their authorized use within the context of our mystery school. That is not due to any desire to exclude or prevent others from the blessings. Rather, as described in the Holy Megillah, because these words and sounds of power are linked to powerful energies and spiritual realities, their use could actually harm those who are not properly prepared to use them. Thus, the Lord and the Lady arranged that the words and sounds will only have a potency when used by those authorized to do so within the context of our mystery schools, to prevent harm to the unprepared. How can a good thing like light harm the unprepared? Well, the very same light that I might experience as nourishing and joyous might burn to a crisp an entity that is used to living in dark shadows. And the blazing light of the Lord and Lady that is experienced by some as pure love is experienced by others as a fire too hot to face. Wherefore certain precautions have been taken by the Lord and the Lady as described in the Holy Megillah. As stated in number 5 above, this entire expanded footnote 2 has to do with what Nasareans call ancient vibration or transcendental vibration. It is called ancient because it is a science and practice that predates the birth of this planet. It is a science and practice concerned with vibration because all things manifest as, feed from, affected, are affected by, and cause vibration. It is called transcendental vibration because some vibrations are much more harmonious and helpful than other vibrations. And the word transcendental implies higher, transcendent, joyous, and helpful vibration. Transcendental vibrations are those vibrations that are harmonious with spiritual and physical well-being and lead to ascension because not only words and sounds relate to vibration. It is pointed out in number 6 above that the word and sound art is only a part of the overall Nasarean science of harmonious vibration, though but a part of an overall lifestyle of harmonious vibration. The word and sound art called transcendental vibration is a profoundly significant part of Nasarean spiritual practice. Even though transcendental vibration is a profound and serious import, it is a practice in a playful, joyous manner, as stated in number 6 above. Much of that playfulness is related to being playful with the language of the general culture we are surrounded by, attempting playfully to upgrade the language and sounds of the general culture. In this aspect of transcendental vibration, we are not dealing with Nasarean sectarian words and sounds of power, but with the other aspect of transcendental vibration, elevating the words and sounds of the decadent culture around us. In other words, we attempt playfully to affect the words and sounds around us in a positive way, thereby making the words and sounds of our culture a bit more transcendental, harmonious, and uplifting. This in itself is an art form and is the proper chanting of Nasarean words and sounds of power. Both practices are important parts of transcendental vibration. And last but not least, he says, although some readers will desire more specific information in regards to Nasarean Hebrew and transcendental vibration, number 7 above illuminates the fact that this subject matter is part of our mystery school curriculum and thus is only discussed further within that context. So very, very important information. I don't think I really have nothing else to say. I'm going to get out of here. And you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. Peace and love. See you on the flip side. Okay, so I just wanted to add this clip on here because when I started the video, I had only cut one of my locks. And now that I'm finishing editing it and finishing it all up, about to get ready to post it, all my locks are gone. And so this morning I woke up singing this song from this movie. It's The Wiz. If you haven't seen it, it's from 1974. It's titled The Wiz. I'll put the lyrics to the song at the end of the video, but you might have to pause it to read them because I can't figure out how to slow it down. But Diana Ross, Michael Jackson, Nipsey Russell, and Ted Ross sang the hell out of this song. She sings it, and I can't hit the note, but I'm still gonna try it. Diana Ross right here, she be saying, Can you feel the brand new day? Thanks for being here, everybody. I'll see you soon. Feel it. The brand new day is here. Can you feel the brand new day? I can feel it.